Appreciate y'all joining us today for this update on our yesterday's tornado outbreak. Obviously, we have Governor Bryant here, Secretary of State, I'm jumping the gun, Secretary of State Delbert Holzman here. We have representatives from Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks, Military Department, and our Chief of Staff here at MEMA, Mr. Brian Ollier, and I'm going to let them take it away at this time.
Well, good morning, everyone. As we all know by now, we had severe weather across the state last night, some 14 tornadoes, tornado damage in 25 different counties. 2 other counties affected by storm damage, so a total of 27. I'm going to call on Colonel Ollier to give details of what we know at this time from MEMA. We are in the field today. We've had daylight for about 2.5 hours now, so we will know more. It appears that we've had more than 150 homes damaged or affected by these storms, but again, those are early numbers. That could double depending on what we see from assessments that are out there. We're extremely fortunate. We don't want any injuries, but we have had 3 injuries across the state, one fairly severe in Amite County with a great deal of damage there. I will call on Secretary Holzman shortly, as we have been talking throughout the morning, as I have been in contact with Governor-elect Reeves throughout the day. And so we are coordinating all our efforts with local officials. Working again with the National Guard. Colonel Smith is here this morning. Lieutenant Matheny, Mississippi Wildlife, Fisheries and Parks is also here. The Department of Public Safety is active this morning and on the road. One of the things that we are trying to do with all our effort now is to make sure that we have no further injuries. That includes on our highways and roads and bridges. So we're asking everyone to slow down. Don't travel in the affected areas if you don't have to. Certainly this is not a sightseeing opportunity, so do not go into the affected area where homes are damaged just to look and take photographs. You will be turned around. We will have law enforcement officers that will be in the affected area, and if you do not live there or you're not there to help someone, do not self-deploy and go to those areas affected by this storm. Colonel Ollier, if you will come and please share with us the details as we know them now. Colonel.
Thank you, Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're seeing now is our SEOC is activated to a level 3. From the impacts that we've seen, the National Weather Service has identified 14 tornadoes. We're expecting that number to grow once their teams get into the field and put an assessment eyes on the ground. As the governor relayed, we do not have any deaths reported. We do have about 15 injuries that have been reported. Again, we're still waiting on further information from the counties. We have about 9,000 to 11,000 power outages as it stands, and as you know, the weather is going to drop through the bottom tonight, so we've got to make sure those power outages get up as quickly as possible. As the governor said, we had about 25 counties that was affected, and I'm sure we'll have more today. About 150 homes have been reported, either damaged or destroyed, and we will continue to update you with those numbers as they come in. Shelters opened throughout the night and through the morning. We had Jones County, Lee County, Marion County, and Smith County all had shelters. We had several safe rooms, Pearl River safe room, Lincoln, Forest, Wayne County, and Jones County safe rooms were open, and for those who were getting out of harm's way. We've received damage assessment reports, the DR1s from about 12 counties thus far. We know those damage assessments will change, and we will receive more from additional counties. Hinds County was the county that gave us the proclamation due to the heavy hit Edwards area. Also, we know the heavy hit in Amite County, and we've filled a lot of requests. We've given tarps to Union, Clark, Lincoln, Smith, Amite, and Hinds, and Lee at this time. More requests are coming in as we're doing this press conference. Shelters we've discussed. The area coordinators are in the field conducting those initial assessments with the emergency management directors. And debris removal teams are being dispatched to those heavy hit areas. We've got UAS operators being dispatched to get eyes on from areas that we cannot get into by road or route. As the governor said, we were lucky enough not to sustain any fatalities. Our prayers are with the state of Louisiana. They did sustain a fatality that we know of. We ask the public, do not self-deploy to these areas. Mississippi is known for its familyhood, and it's coming to the rescue of those in need. If anyone deploys, make sure you coordinate that through the local emergency management director so they know you're in the area. We've seen this in the past where people self-deploy and then they become victims themselves because they get in areas they can't get out of or get into water that takes them away. So please, for the public, we want you to coordinate that through the emergency management directors. A lot of power lines are down. Again, 9,000 to 11,000 folks are without power. Those power lines are on the ground. It's wet. Please stay clear. Take heed to all advisements from your local law enforcement and your first responders. With that, Governor, I turn it back over to you, sir.
Thank you, Colonel. At 0900 this morning, I issued a declaration of emergency that was certified by the Secretary of State, Delbert Hosemann, who is no stranger to this center here or to disasters. He and I have worked together for years now, and I will call him forward as our Lieutenant Governor-elect. Again, I appreciate him being here this morning and signing that declaration of emergency for the affected areas. It will help us deploy the resources that we need from a state level. It will also, if necessary, support a declaration of emergency from the President of the United States. We have 4 now that have been issued. We do not believe this would rise to a presidential declaration, but we will seek out all relief that we can. And Secretary Hosemann has been a strong supporter of MEMA and our local area coordinators. And Mr. Lieutenant Governor-elect, I welcome you here.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you. Only just real quick, you know, we were pleased to go ahead and sign this today, sign a proclamation that the governor has put forth. Mississippi has over $40 million in federal aid right now. Unfortunately, we have become experts at this. MEMA does a great job. And I have been pleased to be out here many, many times and go to the affected areas and watch the work that they do. Our transition governor, Tate Reeves, will be manning this podium in the future. We're gonna miss Governor Bryant, who's done such a great job. But going forward, all of the people that have made these critical decisions, Mr. Michelle and all the others that have worked here, will be in full stride beginning after January to make sure that this operates seamlessly in the future. I think that is a key component of Mississippi's orderly transition from one person who's been so supportive. Governor Bryant's been so supportive of this. He doesn't miss anything. One time I asked where he was during a hurricane when we were all in the bunker up here, and Governor Bryant was on the coast in the middle of the hurricane. So whatever, he doesn't miss very much at all, and we're going to miss his services here. But we will not drop the ball. From here forward, you will see Mississippi continue to provide the services that we do through MEMA, through the National Guard and our other state agencies. So everybody give a little prayer here at Christmas. Some of our prayers were answered last evening. This could have been much worse on a personal level than it is. But we will start the rebuilding process as we always do in Mississippi.
Thank you, sir. 2 quick bits of advice to those that are out wanting to help. Make sure that you do not, as we said earlier, self-deploy. Check with your local area emergency management director, the sheriff's department, police department, anyone of an official response capability. Check with them before you self-deploy or go into these areas. Second, we know from the National Weather Service that cold weather is behind this system. Extremely cold weather will be entering the state. So if you have shut-ins, if you have people that you know are at their homes that may be losing power, we are desperately now seeking those individuals so that we might be able to respond to them, elderly living at home or someone in need of care. Cold weather will have a stronger effect on them, particularly if they've lost power. And so we need to identify those individuals. If they are out there, they can certainly contact their local officials or reach out to MEMA here or anyone's official office. If you know of someone that needs that help, always make sure that you check with your pets that are outside. This cold weather is going to affect not only those of us that live, but those of us that care about the animals that we are responsible for. So be aware that cold weather is on the way. Ice may be on some of the bridges in the morning, so drive safely. We do not want anyone injured as a result of this storm system or the cold weather that will be following it. So I want to thank you for that. Any questions?
Speaking of health, talk about the importance of making sure that homeowners choose a legit tree service, because this morning in Edwards, there was a guy that was walking
Absolutely.
around talking to people, well, knocking on doors
Yeah.
to see if they wanted, their trees cut, just talking.
Yeah, it is unfortunate that there are those that would take advantage of this disaster and other disasters. So you'll see people that will come up and say, I'll cut your trees, and I need cash money to do so. I need to go buy fuel or need to buy equipment, and I'll be right back, and you never see them again. So I would say be extremely careful when anyone approaches you offering a service cleanup, debris removal. You also have people that want to replace your roof, so they will come up with a truck that says roofing repair, and they'll want cash money. They take that money and leave, and you'll never see them again. So I would say call the Attorney General's office is a really good source for identifying people who are properly out there and trying to provide those services. But today is a time that people can be taken advantage of, and I would ask the general public to be very careful. I know the Attorney General's office will weigh in with our Public Protection Division and assist any way they can.
Okay, and so a state of emergency was called for 4 areas affected?
All of the affected area.
All of the
All of the 25 counties that have been affected, there has been a declaration of emergency. I know Hinds County issued a declaration of emergency pre-storm yesterday, and I'm sure other counties and perhaps municipalities will be issuing them throughout the day as they assess the damage.
And out of those 25 counties, is Amite and Edwards the hardest hit?
More than likely, it's hard to say because we still have assessment teams in the field just now. But from what we see, it looks as if Edwards and the Liberty, Amite County area are the 2 most severely damaged. But we had a storm front that went about 60 miles from the southwest corner of the state to almost central of the state, some 60 to 80 miles. So there's a lot of damage still out there. But Edwards, Guntown had some severe damage up in Lee County. And in that Amite County area are the hardest hit.
And in Edwards, so there wasn't a tornado, it was just heavy winds in that area? Has it been confirmed?
I think it's difficult now to really identify that, and that's part of the issues that we're dealing with the National Weather Service is to try to identify tornado damage or straight line winds. But damage is damage as we look into it. But 14 tornadoes, and there may be more. As the National Weather Service identifies a rotation in that area today, we'll be able to know exactly what caused that damage.
And out of the injuries, anything about the extent of their injuries or the ages of those?
You know, I don't now. Colonel, you know any details on injuries?
As far as the injury is concerned, we do not get age, but we do understand the severity. We do have one that we know was severe. We do not have the information at this time to conclude that to a final report. We did have a facility that had adults in it that were under care. They were all sent to the hospital, 7 of them. Those 7 have been treated and they're good. But again, we're expecting more injury reports to be well defined throughout the day as now the reports are now forthcoming.
And that severe injury, where was that reported?
Out of Amite.
Okay, also as far as the shelters that are open, can you give us a list, can you give me that list one more time?
Yes, ma'am. Right now, the shelters that are open are in Jones County, Marion County, Lee County, and Smith County. Marion County was a independent facility, which was Vine Church, but they're still showing right now that they are possibly going to close because there's nobody there. But again, the county EMAs and the county municipalities know all they've got to do is send us the request, and we will get American Red Cross, the Red Cross, and the folks en route. So we're standing by, ma'am, and we're figuring we probably may have some more requests throughout the day. Due, as the governor said, the weather temperature drops, power stays off. We're expecting some possibly some warming shelters and some safe rooms opened up, but we'll stand by.
These shelters that are open, they're going to remain open since the temperatures are dropping?
As it stands right now, yes, ma'am, and as soon as they close, they send us reports saying when they're closing because they don't have any occupancy.
Lieutenant Governor-elect Holston mentioned Mississippi being all too familiar with things like this happening. Just kind of talk about the fact that last night and yesterday, after the storms went through, you had local law enforcement already knew what to do, knew how to deploy, their officers or their deputies to these areas to make sure that people were safe without electricity. Just kind of talk about them already being prepared for this.
You know, as the governor implied, Mississippi is no stranger to disasters. The state is very well versed on the pre-planning for events. We knew the system was coming. The county emergency management were notified as we get the notification. They are very proactive. The state is sad enough proficient at handling severe weather. If If you remember last year about this same time, December 27th is when that system came through, and it was deja vu for us. So our local law enforcement cannot be praised enough. They always put themselves in harm's way. Our first responders are never scared to go to the challenge. They're always prepared to do what they need to do, and we commend them, and we're behind them, and we back them with everything, with any unmet needs. We had many counties call in yesterday that were not in the affected area offering up their support, and that's the camaraderie the state of Mississippi is proud to have. I cannot tell you a solid number, but we had more than 20 counties call in and say, we're standing by for whatever you need. And that goes all the way from Memphis all the way down to the Gulf Coast, standing by to help. So very proficient.
With Christmas being a week away, kind of talk about the efforts that are going to take place between now and the new year. I mean, I know a lot of people may have plans to travel and may not have expected this. So just kind of talk about what are the plans moving forward for the next couple of weeks.
Well, from MEMA's perspective and the state's perspective, we'll work 24/7 until we've identified the needs and the events for each county and municipality. This system will take us probably 2-3 weeks to get through. So like last year, MEMA will be working round the clock to make sure we get that information up and collected. As the Secretary stated, we will look at those damage assessments to see if thresholds were met. As far as the holidays, we will make sure the county emergency management directors we're in direct contact with for any needs they need for sheltering, American Red Cross to come in and provide food, whatever, water, did the requests come in. But we're always standing by, a holiday or not, to facilitate that need.
Thank you. Thank you.